Well, look where we are. Another episode of Cast Talks. It's 7:30 p.m. CST. On the 12th of March. And that's in 2022. Hello there, Moss, and thanks for being the first one here. So we're starting up today, bright and early. And thank you for your heart, I appreciate it. So today, we are having just a very normal kind of chill streaming day, which is going to be in a little bit of a contrast to how some of my streams have felt recently, where I've been quite frantic to try and get things running. However, today that is not going to be the case. Today we're just going to have a nice time. And on top of that, I have quite a few different little pieces of information and news to go on about. Some of the people that I speak to on a regular basis will be very familiar with some of the events that I have had in my life just recently. One of them is going to a particular place known as medieval times. Gosh. And I wish that I had enjoyed myself just a little bit more, but I did get myself a nice little souvenir practice sword. I know what you're trying to do, Moss, but thank you for that. And tonight, we are going to have some good news, and we're going to have a little bit of a foray into some animal videos as well. So what is this, you might be asking? So, what happens is, on Saturdays, like tonight, I host a stream just like this that goes for about 2 hours. And for those 2 hours, we hang out and relax. We listen to some good news, some ambience in the background. And we don't worry about much. You know, we just sort of try to have our best time and be our best selves. So I hope you'll join me for just a little while to find some time to do nothing. It's alright, Moss. I don't mind. So, let us begin. And as for what's going on in my life, I only just recently have made this decision myself, but in the past couple of weeks, actually I meant to talk about this more last week, but I wasn't even able to stream because of some business regarding my power supply turning off. Anyone who watches the Discord, you probably had some sight into that. But I very recently had to change a lot of the priorities in my life regarding one of my hobbies. And because of that change, I lost a lot of the friends associated with those hobbies. And it was a difficult thing to do. Well, howdy there, Wolf. How are you doing? Thank you so much for showing up. I'm glad you could make it. And it's at times like these you have to think about who your real friends are and who you want to spend your time with and who you trust and who you want to donate and sacrifice and compromise with. It's unfortunate, but sometimes you have to decide that you need to hang out with different people. I had a decision like that to make 2 weeks ago. And it made me sad that I'm pretty sure I hurt somebody's feelings doing that, and I can only hope that they receive that information in the most gracious and magnanimous way possible. But that doesn't always happen, You can't always control people. In fact, you very, very rarely can. So, you have to take what you can get and move from there. But how are you two doing? I hope you're having a lovely, lovely evening here at 7:35. I hope that you're enjoying yourself so far. We're getting ready for our first good news story. So here it comes. I'm putting this into the Discord chat just for you, Rain. Oh, thank you, Moss, for your hugs. Volkswagen gets a lot of buzz premiering their new electric throwback bus, the ID Buzz. So, Volkswagen unveiled their new ID Buzz in Hamburg, calling it Europe's first all-electric bus. From its iconic roots in the 1950s, the latest CO2-friendly version is affectionately known as Bulli, resurrecting a popular German nickname for the 2011 VW Bus. It's the proportions that make the ID Buzz so unique, says Volkswagen chief designer Josef Cabane. He made a direct link back to the original classic vehicle, the T1. You are practically sitting on top of the front axle. There's no front overhang. Even after the safety and technology features are loaded up front, the ID Buzz has super short overhangs, says Cabane. Yeah, you are sitting pretty far forward, aren't you? Another feature that has always been typical of the model line is its V-shaped front panel. Sans the charismatic round headlights of old, though. 5 people have ample room for traveling and for their luggage. Like any van, the second row of seats can be folded down, doubling the storage capacity. In the 1950s, the Volkswagen Bulli stood for a new feeling of automotive freedom, independence, and great emotion, said Ralph Brandstetter, chairman of the board of management. The ID Buzz picks up on this lifestyle and transfers it onto our time, emission-free, sustainable, fully networked, and adaptable for future autonomous driving. Available across Europe this fall, with orders starting in May. Oh, excuse me, I want to read this one too, actually. The company says the vehicle's manufacture and shipping has a carbon-neutral footprint, and the entire interior uses recycled synthetic materials, free of leather. The Buzz will come with a 77 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery that provides current to a 150 kilowatt electric motor. Plug-and-charge technology enables the Buzz to be easily charged while out and about with up to 170 kilowatts. Bidirectional charging enables the Buzz to feed unneeded energy from the battery into the customer's home power network. They say it has an unusually small turning circle of 11.1 meters, and the expecting price is around $40,000. The line also offers a larger cargo van with double the storage space called the ID Buzz Cargo. Well, lovely. It's a very, very easy one to get behind. Let me see if I like the look of this one first. Okay, this one seems nice. So, I'm totally in favor of making expansions into the world of electronic vehicles. It's definitely an important place for us to be considering. We do not know in the future how far we're actually going to push the electronic cars and such. I assume it's going to be very far, but, you know, the more the merrier. Denver's program to dispatch mental health teams instead of police is so successful, it's expanding 5-fold. After dispatching mental health teams instead of police officers to certain 911 emergency calls, the city of Denver is proclaiming their pilot program a huge success and expanding it significantly. Since June of 2020, the support team, Assisted Response, has deployed medical and behavioral health clinicians to respond to over 2,200 low-risk calls reporting trespassing, intoxication, or mental health crises involving poverty, homelessness, or addiction. In all that time, STAR teams have never called for police backup due to a safety issue, according to their January report. In January, the City Council unanimously allocated a $1.4 million contract for the STAR program's expansion, paying for 5 additional white vans and hiring 7 clinicians, 4 paramedics, and 2 emergency medical technicians. The Denver Post reports that STAR teams have driven hundreds of miles, assisted people at the brink of a terrible time, and they've also handed out water and socks and connected people to shelter, food, and resources. STAR's advisory team, consisting of 15 volunteer citizens, hope that with 6 vans, they can respond to more than 10,000 calls a year. Funding for the expansion was bolstered by a $1.4 million grant from the Caring for Denver Foundation. Ooh, actually, is this going to work here? Yeah, turn on for sure. The innovative approach, meeting people where they are, with the right services, at the right time, is a game changer for Denver, said Bob McDonald. What a name. DD-PHE Executive Director and Public Health Administrator for the City of Denver. Importantly, it is also saving money for the city. If the STAR vans can help someone in crisis, that frees up police to handle a robbery or domestic violence call. STAR is minimizing unnecessary arrests and unnecessary costs, whether that be jail costs or emergency room costs, Councilwoman Robin Naish said. Denver residents can specifically request STAR assistance by calling 720-913-STAR, which is 7827, or by calling the non-emergency number 720-913-2000. When STAR pulls up, people in crisis can be assured that 2 non-judgmental, client-centered, supportive people who are willing to listen are getting out of that van to help, said Chris Richardson, LCSW. Other cities in Colorado, including Pueblo, Colorado Springs, and Fort Collins, have called Denver with intentions to start similar emergency services to dispatch unarmed health professionals. Nearby Aurora was among the first to replicate the model, launching their Aurora Mobile Response Team in September. Amert, lovely. Data collected from 759 of the residents served so far shows that nearly 3/4 had been medically diagnosed with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety, or major depression. It's the future of law enforcement, Denver Police Chief Paul Pozen said in a 2020 interview with the Denver Post. We want to meet people where they are and address those needs outside of the criminal justice system. I love this one. This is really, really good. Basically, this is like if SOS existed in the real world. It was just out there helping people constantly. Like, I can't think of a better situation than that for basically coming in and just being like, hey, you know, we're here for you, and we're not here to, like, arrest you, and we're not armed. Because most of the time, you don't need to bring any weaponry to the scene of, like, a very low-risk situation. And most of these problems already get solved, for the most part, without that. But having, like, professionals there to assist is a very good thing, considering the cost of some of those police calls. Apparently, police calls are like, it's like a $500 to $1,000 fine if you call the police, and then, like, I don't actually know how true that is in Oklahoma, but it's very true in California. And it was really, really expensive to call the police, and especially if they called it like a prank call. Essentially, you get a huge fine. So here we go. Scientists create algorithm that uses routine eye scans to identify heart attack risks with an accuracy of 70 to 80%. Scientists have developed an artificial intelligence system that can analyze eye scans taken during a routine visit to an optician or eye clinic and identify patients at a high risk of a heart attack. In fact, doctors have recognized that changes to the tiny blood vessels in the retina are indicators of broader vascular disease, including problems with the heart. In the research, led by the University of Leeds, deep learning techniques were used to train an AI system to automatically read retinal scans and identify those people who, over the following year, were likely to have a heart attack. Deep learning is a complex series of algorithms that enable computers to identify patterns in data and to make predictions. The use of deep learning in the analysis of retinal scans could revolutionize the way patients are regularly screened for signs of heart disease. Professor Alex Franke, who holds the Diamond Jubilee Chair in Computational Medicine in the School of Computing at the University of Leeds, and is a Turing Fellow at the Alan Turing Institute, supervised the research. He said, cardiovascular diseases, including heart attacks, are the leading cause of early fatality worldwide, and the second largest in the UK. This causes chronic ill health and misery worldwide. This technique opens up the possibility of revolutionizing the screening of cardiac disease. Retinal scans are comparatively cheap and routinely used in many optician practices. As a result of automated screening, patients who are at high risk of becoming ill could be referred for specialists' cardiac services. Basically, you would just know, like maybe even years ahead. The system could also be used to track early signs of heart disease. Chris Gale, professor of cardiovascular medicine at the University of Leeds and a consultant cardiologist at Leeds Teaching Hospital. Oh, would you like me to skip it? Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot about that issue that you have. I'll skip this one, okay? Here. We'll go to the next one. Solar panels built from waste crops can make energy without direct light. In a twist for solar energy, a Filipino inventor has created resinous panels that harvest solar energy out of recycled vegetables, and it can even work when it's cloudy, rainy, or out of direct sunlight. It turns out that there are extremely sensitive chemicals in vegetables that turn UV light from the sun into visible light, which can in turn be used to generate electricity from photovoltaic cells. When placed between the glass of a double-glazed window, the different colored panels push sunlight into the edges of the window pane, where PV cells then turn it into electricity, enough to charge 2 smartphones. But if used to clad an entire building, it can power major systems as well as delight onlookers with its Andy Warhol-like use of bright colors. Made from recycled vegetable waste, the innovation won its creator, 29-year-old Carvey Erin Make, the 2020 Dyson Foundation Sustainability Award. Make called it the Oreos, as its multicolored nature looks like the aurora borealis. Unlike the bulky solar panels we all think of, Oreos is a vegetable polymer sheet and can be bent, molded, and clamped onto pretty much any shape. Furthermore, they don't need UV light to strike them directly, harvesting as plants do from the UV light through clouds. If placed on a roof entirely in a shadow, they can still generate electricity if the UV light was bouncing off, say, a nearby skyscraper or field. We are also looking to create curved plates for use on electric cars, airplanes, and even boats, Meg told the Dyson Foundation in a 2020 interview. Autos has the chance to bring solar energy capture closer to people, in the same way computers were only used by the government or the military, and now the same technology is in our smartphones. I want solar energy harvesting to be more accessible. He says nothing. He says that there's nothing stopping the base polymer from being used, even to make thread for clothing, allowing people to generate electricity as they walk around. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Oh, Zakia, thank you so much for your follow, buddy. I appreciate it. I love hearing that sound. Designed to be used as low impact as possible. Well, welcome on in. Make sought not just vegetable waste, but also crops destroyed in storms and typhoons. The panels come in red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, with a suitable and natural blue coloring agent remaining undiscovered. And here's what it looks like, folks. It is kind of insane looking. I'll show it to you now. I guess I can kind of see what they mean by Andy Warhol. Does anyone else think the name Andy Warhol is kind of weird sounding? I know it's a bit mean, but I don't know why his name reminds me of the Warthog from Halo. So, effectively, what this is a series of photosynthetic slides that can basically just be used to create energy from anything that has a light source of any provocation nearby. Even like reflections can do it. Isn't that crazy looking though? Thank you for the hearts, boss. Wow, look at that science. Oh my gosh. You know, we did just talk about crops being dehydrated as well. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow. So you can make this any shape that you want. So wait, if this worked the way I'm thinking it works, you could have plates of this in like the parts of your phone or parts of your clothing and basically just be like turning your energy out of being in the sun to charge your phone as you go. Wouldn't that be something? Gosh, dude. My gosh, man. I can't even imagine the uses for that in the future. Like, we're talking about clothes that could power clothing, or that could power, and if you have like cyberpunk clothing, sure, but it could also power, let's say, your laptop while you're using it, or like you could use it to like power an air conditioning inside of your clothes or something like that. Oh my gosh. I can't possibly get into what the speculation on the technology in the use of it is, but you could get up to some crazy shenanigans with that sort of thing. And here's our next one. Let me give you the link. There you go, Rain. Excuse me, Wolf. Canadian millionaire donates his life savings to plant 100,000 daffodils, and they've just begun to bloom. More than 100,000 daffodils planted in a town as part of a generous gift from a Canadian banker in his will are finally beginning to bloom. The Valley of Bulbs were planted after a dying wish by Keith Owen, who planned to retire in Sidmouth in Devon, southwest England. He was diagnosed with terminal cancer in 2007 and decided to leave his life savings of 2.3 million, that's in euros, 3 million in American dollars, USD, to a local voluntary conservation society. He contacted the Sid Vale Association, SVA, and told them he wished for his money to be used to support local projects, which made use of voluntary labor, and in particular to sustain the ambience and way of life recognized in Sidmouth and its surroundings. Now, the 153,000 bulbs planted across the town are finally beginning to bloom. And Harris, one of the Sidmouth Civic Society, said, Every year, it brings back happy memories of this man who did this amazing thing for the town. Snowdrops, daffodils, and crocus bulbs were among the 153,000 flowers worth 166,000 euros planted at over 50 sites. The daffodils were planted on Peak Hill in Sidmouth. Let me get a good little picture of this for you guys. It's very pretty. I've never been the hugest daffodil person, but I mean, even I could say, like, that's a lot of good flowers right there. That's doing something good. Mr. Owen passed on December the 3rd of 2007 in Victoria Hospital in Sidmouth. The millionaire was born in 1938 in nearby Totnes and wanted to school at Montpellier Preparatory School in Paynton. In 1976, after 20 years of RAF service with the British Armed Forces, he retired with the rank of squadron leader and set up home in Ottawa, Canada. Aww. So I don't particularly know what I would do if I was like not going to live a lot longer. Like, let's say I had 5 years to live. What I would probably do is I would be a public speaker. I think I would promote and advocate for really important topics and things in my life that have changed me for the better. And I would try to make every day count. Sort of a weirdly like Una's honest sounding thing, but for the most part, it really matters most that you're happy with what you're doing and not that what you're doing is worth anything. Because there are people who toil and who work and harvest and who strike stone with metal or who clean floors with calloused hands. But something I learned recently is even the most mundane and humble acts can be beautified by loving hands. And if you love what you do, no matter what it is, if you love cleaning, if you love walking, if you love talking like Heidi really, it doesn't really matter how much it supports you or funds you. If that's your thing, then live your best life, right? For sure, knowing that you have 5 years left to live is a pretty motivating thing to make changes that you might need to, but at the same time, stay true to who you were before that too. Don't let that change you too much. Just accept it like any other thing, and when you can, when you're ready, let it come. But that's all I have to say about that, and that's enough of that morbid subject for now. I'm going to have to make my night eye work a little better because it's not nightifying things the way it should. So, high hopes for treating severe asthma after scientists identify anti-inflammatory molecule. Scientists have uncovered a new approach for treating severe asthma. They have high hopes. Their discovery may pave the way for effective new treatments, especially in children. The research comes from the School of Biochemistry and Immunology at the Trinity Biomedical Sciences Institute in Ireland, which has one of the highest rates of asthma in the world. Luke O'Neill, lead investigator and professor of biochemistry at Trinity, said, "We have found that a molecule made by our own bodies called itaconate, can suppress key events that promote asthma by targeting an important immune protein called JAK1. By shutting off JAK1, we have shown remarkable efficacy in lab-based models for asthma." Sorry, I forgot to give you this one, I think. The protein, JAK1, is important in driving the immune response, but in some cases it causes an over-the-top reaction, leading to excessive stimulation of macrophages, which cruise around the body looking for intruders. This excessive stimulation causes inflammation and is problematic in the suite of conditions, such as asthma. Dr. Morar Mara Runch. That's one name. Lead author of the research article just published in Cell Metabolism, said, "We have high hopes that new medicines based on itaconate, I think is how you say that, could well have potential as a wholly new therapeutic approach for treating severe asthma, where there is a pressing need for new treatments. We tested a molecule called 4-OI, which is based on itaconate, and it was able to suppress severe asthma in a model of disease, which doesn't respond to anti-inflammatory steroids." Well, lovely. Honestly, if it was so simple for us to do these things, right, if it was like sort of right under our nose for a while, I think it's easy to get frustrated by the idea that, so much could have been changed by just knowing about this. But it's also important to remember that even though we move at our own speeds, the world and the things that the world is made of move at their own speeds too. And that can be particularly frustrating when you'd like things to be moving faster. But, we can't change that. All we can do is try to be good people to each other. So here is our next news story. It's a pretty one too. Mesmerizing rose-veiled fairy Ross is new to science and named for national flower. Though there are hundreds of species of fish found off the coast of the Maldives, a mesmerizing new addition is the first ever to be formally described by a Maldivian researcher, and it's named after the country's national flower. Isn't that a pretty fish? The new to science rose-veiled fairy Ross, which is also a Cirrolabrus fenma, oh my gosh, I got that right, is one of the first species to have its name derived from the local Divehi language. Fenma means rose, a nod to both its pink hues and the island nation flower. It also has the word thin in it, which is very fish-like. Scientists from the California Academy of Sciences, the University of Sydney, the Maldives Marine Research Institute, and the Field Museum collaborated on the discovery as part of the Academy's Hope for Reefs initiative, aimed at better understanding and protecting coral reefs around the world. It has always been foreign scientists who have described species, even those, let me get you, gosh, I keep forgetting to post this in the chat for you, Rain, I'm sorry about that. It has always been foreign scientists who have described species found in the Maldives without much involvement from local scientists, even those that are endemic to the Maldives, says study co-author and Maldives Marine Researcher Institute biologist Ahmed Najib in the paper published in Zookeys. This time it is different, and getting to be part of something for the first time has been really exciting, especially having the opportunity to work alongside top ichthyologists, such as an elegant and beautiful species. First collected by researchers in 1990s, C. finifenma was originally thought to be the adult version of a different species, Cirrolabrus rubrisquamis, which had been described based on a single juvenile specimen from the Chagos archipelago, an island chain 1,000 kilometers south of the Maldives. In this new study, however, the researchers took a more detailed look at both adults and juveniles of the multicolored marvel, measuring and counting various features, such as the color of the adult males, the height of each spine supporting the fin on the fish's back, and the number of scales found on various body regions. This data, along with genetic analysis, oh my lord, were then compared to the C. rubrisquamis specimen to confirm that C. finifenma is indeed a unique species. Importantly, this revelation greatly reduces the known range of each Ross, a crucial consideration when setting conservation priorities. That is such a pretty looking fish, wow. That's the kind of fish you want to have in your aquarium. That fish is so cool. It's very cool looking, isn't it? What we previously thought was one widespread species of fish is actually two different species, each with a potentially much more restricted distribution, says lead author and University of Sydney doctoral student Yikai T. This exemplifies why describing new species and taxonomy in general is important for conservation and biodiversity management. This species is quite abundant. It speaks to how much biodiversity there is still left to be described from coral reef ecosystems, says senior author and Academy curator of ichthyology Louise Rocha, PhD, who co-directs the Hope for Reefs initiative. Last month, Hope for Reefs researchers continued their collaboration with the MMRI by conducting the first surveys of the Maldives' Twilight Zone reefs, the virtually unexplored coral ecosystems found between 50 and 150 meters, which is 160 to 500 feet, beneath the ocean's surface, where they found new records of C. phenophenma, along with at least 8 potentially new-to-science species yet to be described. For the researchers, this kind of international partnership is pivotal to best understand and ensure a regenerative future for the Maldives coral reefs. Nobody knows these waters better than the Maldivian people, Rocha told the California Academy of Sciences. Our research is stronger when it's done in collaboration with local researchers and divers. I'm excited to continue our relationship with MMRI and the Ministry of Fisheries to learn about and protect the island's nation's reefs together. Collaborating with organizations such as the Academy helps us build our local capacity to expand knowledge in this field. This is just the start, and we're already working together on future projects, Najib says. Our partnership will help us better understand the unexplored depths of our marine ecosystems and their inhabitants. The more we understand and the more compelling scientific evidence we can gather, the better we can protect them. That's absolutely lovely. For the most part, when it comes to biodiversity and protecting the marine culture of very important tropical places like this, where basically the most biodiverse areas in the world are like the tropics, I would say. Jungles, tropics, things like that, where there's just a ton of animals packed into one spot, basically. And the ocean tropics and stuff like that especially, there's just so much there that needs to be kept safe, because reefs have an untold amount of potential improvement and help on the ecosystem. So it's very important to make sure we take good care of them. And thank you for using some of your points there, Moss. I just now noticed that was actually a highlight. Your favorite fish in the ocean are sharks. You just love them. And the fictional genre of sharks are entertaining to me. Well, I do love sharks, though I think the movie Jaws had the unfortunate action and change in the public view of them being very dangerous, when in fact the number of people who are harmed to any degree by sharks, I believe, is lower than getting struck by lightning. I don't know exactly if it's true, but it's very close to that level of it almost never happens. And sharks have gotten an extremely bad reputation because of movies like that, which, they're good movies, but I think the creator of Jaws at one point even said, I wish I hadn't made that story, because sharks don't deserve to be looked at that way. Still, seeing a great white shark is very scary. They're very scary creatures. They're giant, big old mouths. That is a scary thing. But things like hammerhead sharks, and I believe they're called leopard sharks, stuff like that, those are some of the most gentle creatures on the planet. Hammerhead sharks are actually extremely shy and afraid of cameras. It's why you don't generally see them being filmed, because when they see cameras or bright lights, they generally try to escape them and get away. I don't know if we know why that is, but most sharks are extremely gentle and don't just attack things for no reason. especially people, because people are pretty big, and I've heard we don't taste very good either. I hope that both of those things are true, but I can never say for sure. What I can say, though, is sharks are incredibly kind creatures, and they're generally misunderstood by the common person. You know, I'd like to swim with some sharks at one point. Maybe just tiger sharks, or like, very, chill sharks. And I'd love to swim with an octopus too. I love octopi. I'd love to swim with one. Take a picture of me holding onto an octopus. They are predators of the ocean, but we're not among their predation habits. Do you see what I'm saying? We're just beings from the land that don't really belong there most of the time, and they just see us as like weird aliens, and they don't mess with us usually. If we bring them food, though, if we save them, which there are some amazing videos of people that are like pull hooks out of sharks' mouths, and the sharks like thank them by rubbing up against them and like nose drilling them and stuff, because they're just really grateful to have that removed. I mean, I can't imagine having a hook in my mouth for like weeks, but if someone pulled that hook out, you're real grateful. You're really, really grateful for getting that hook out of you. And that's just amazing that they can show that much affection, but they really can. They're very affectionate. Very surprisingly affectionate. So here is our next one, probably before we take our little break here. I don't know if it'll be right away, but it'll be soon. Couple finds large pearl worth thousands after ordering clams on their 34th anniversary with their favorite restaurant. They eat fish, not humans. I agree. That's something I can get behind. They don't really care to mess with humans because we're kind of scary to them, which is reasonable because we are pretty scary. Oh, look at the doggo. Thank you. A treat enough as it was, a dinner of fresh seafood over the ocean side. The evening's real treat came after a New Jersey man bit down into his usual meal. Imagine biting down and it's like a pearl. It's like, what the heck? Michael and Maria Spressler arrived in Cape May 34 years ago, to the day that Michael found a pearl worth thousands of dollars in his usual dozen fresh clams on the half shell. Turtles in a half shell. I thought one of my molars cracked, Michael Spresser told NJ.com. At 8.8 millimeters, it's a whopper, and the first one in as long as anyone at the Lobster House can remember being found. In its 100th year on the pier above the Cape, the restaurant staff were giddy at the news that their loyal customers, sharks freak you out, you stay out of the ocean. Hey, they're scary. I admit they're very scary. I understand. In its 100th year on the pier above the Cape, the restaurant staff were giddy at the news that their loyal customers had perhaps found a small fortune in one of their clams. One employee who was in her 10th year working there said she'd never heard of any such thing being found in one of their clams or oysters, but admits that now, despite the fact she never cared for the taste of raw bivalves, she'll probably have to give it a shot. I mean, there might be more oysters in there. The creamy white pearl was a special find on a special day, at a special place, and wife Maria, despite telling local news that pearls of equal size, shape, and color are worth thousands of dollars, the couple decided to keep it as a celebration. I would like to have it set into a nice piece of jewelry, maybe a mermaid or something nautical, Maria Spressler said. It's a beautiful remembrance of that day, and what we have is so special. Aww.
Well, imagine you're...
I don't want to see NBC News, guys, because honestly, they're pretty jerky. But I will show you guys an image of what that pearl looks like by comparison to a coin. So here's the coin comparison right here. So pearls, for the most part, are not like super big. Most pearls are not huge. They use the mother of pearl marbling on things like the tiny stones and keys and plastic bits for like saxophone and instrument keys, instruments that use keys like that, and that's very common. But like the actual pearl itself, the build of a pearl is mostly from the deposit of, I believe it's the calcium that exists inside of an oyster when it is trying to suck in water. Because the way that things like that work is they suck in water and they blow it out. But if enough water gets caught on its tongue, it's trying to like get rid of the hard water calcium sediment. And so that carbon just keeps getting rolled around. It's like trying to lick it away from itself. But what ends up happening is it keeps licking that thing into a perfect sphere. And eventually it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And most of the time, you don't see oysters making pearls this size. Because like pearls are usually really tiny, even smaller than this. And they're not usually very big, but that's a pretty big pearl by pearl standards. It's not as big as the other one we saw that was like the size of somebody, like bigger than that coin right there. Most pearls are not very big, but hey, you know, if you find a pearl anywhere, that's a good find in my opinion, no matter what it's worth, because pearls are very precious. Very, very precious. I think that for the most part, pearls have this lovely sort of the ocean feeling to them that I find to be very, very charming. Though I've never really liked wearing them on myself or enjoyed seeing them on like other people, particularly than something else. I am more into jewels than pearls, I have to say, but I'm not against either one. So we've got a crazy looking one over here. I'm going to show you guys this one in the full thing. Gourmet meals cooked over molten lava. My gosh, foodies offer one-of-a-kind experience in ancient canyon. Can you imagine that? This pop-up event in Saudi Arabia used molten lava to cook food for diners. The unbelievable scene was produced by experimental creatives at London-based Bompa's in Par Studio, utilizing research from a leading expert in molten rock, Professor Robert Wysocki of Syracuse University in the U.S. Guests were seated in the Shlal Canyon at Auda, and served dishes of local produce seared using the intense 2,462 degrees Fahrenheit. Holy moly, that'll definitely put some spice in your food. For 700 SAR, which is $186 US per person, the menu featured whole salt bake celeriac, charred fillets of beef finished across molten lava, and pit-roasted saddles of goat grilled across the fire pits. Gosh. As an ode to the setting, dessert included a chocolate lava cake oozing in the middle, while drinks included smoked, flamed, and charred mocktails. Oh my gosh. This is incredible looking. I love the aesthetics of this. I want to go here someday and look at this. Coffee and tea, heated tableside by the lava, were also available. Oh my gosh. Drawing on the raw power of nature, the forces of nature set menus prepared by our expert pitmasters. I want to be a pitmaster. Were inspired by the origins of cooking on open flames, said a representative. Oh, look at that meal. Bompas and Par is known worldwide for its expertise in multi-sensory experience design and extreme science cooking. I like that term, extreme science cooking. The previous projects have included a glow-in-the-dark alcoholic jello made from Mark Ronson's 33rd birthday party and a Willy Wonka-style chewing gum that changed flavors as it was chewed. We're getting there, folks. We're going to have the whole dinner and the chewing gum someday soon. I don't know when, but I hope it's soon. Their next groundbreaking dining experience will be a cutting-edge, 360 immersive digital dining room named Incense Road. That's bizarre. Barbecue using lava is a meal fit for the almighty dragon, my budwee. The almighty dragon. Yeah, that does sound like a thing the dragons would be into. Like, oh, you know, I've got this lava here. I might as well cook it, you know. Wolf, the movie, Jaws really freaked me out. I couldn't watch the whole thing. Yeah, I know how you feel. It freaked me. I watched it too young. I watched that movie way too young. The project is set to give viewers a multi-sensory insight into the ancient trade routes that connected much of ancient Africa, the Middle East, India, the Mediterranean, and beyond, around 2,000 years ago. The team has collaborated with curators and historical researchers to transport visitors to the time when the regions were bustling with merchants, trading frankincense, spices, precious stones, fine textiles, and other luxuries like tacos, with a menu involving Memphis-style cardamom, spiced chicken, and cinnamon-infused chocolate Trajan coins. Sign us up. I would like to go as well. I don't know how much of that I could even eat, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like that's a reasonable time to consider, like, if you'd like to try eating some meat, if it's cooked over lava. Like, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's kind of that's a thing right there. Like, I don't know if you should pass that up. It's kind of hard for me to say for sure. Of course, I don't like the idea of eating the meat because something had to lose its life for that, but I mean, molten lava. I mean, how often do you get to eat a meal cooked on molten lava? My gosh. I just don't have an answer. I just don't have an answer. Here's another one, though. Lordy Lou, can you imagine? I wonder how quickly the food cooks like that for 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Giant floating solar panel flowers replace coal in Korea and become tourist destinations. Never have you ever. Oh, me either. South Korea's total land surface is not large. Instead of clearing what little real estate there is for renewable energy projects, 92,000 solar panels in the shape of plum blossoms now float on the gently bobbing surface of a southern reservoir. The solar project on the 17-mile-long reservoir in Hapcheon is able to generate, holy moly, 41.5 megawatts, enough to provide power for 60,000 people, more than the total population of the country. Jeezy, crazy, that's a lot. Floating solar photovoltaic PV is becoming a go-to method for renewable energy production in Asia, and a recent speech by President Moon Jae-in outlined floating solar as an important part of the total renewables plan for the generation of 9.4 gigawatts of electricity in South Korea, or about the same as 9 nuclear reactors. Jeez, that's really good. I do it every day. Hey, you know, if I could have lava-cooked food, I would consider it. The 3 peaks of Hwangmaesan, mountain reflected on Hapcheon Lake form the shape of a plum blossom. Sprawled on the surface of this lake are photovoltaic panels that also resemble plum blossoms from an ink and wash painting, said President Moon. Hanwha, the company in charge of constructing the blossom panel arrays, suggests that demand for floating PV is expected to rise in the coming years, not only in Asia. Thailand has already built the world's largest floating PV solar panel plant, which is about the size of 70 soccer pitches. So, it almost looks fake to me, right? It almost doesn't look real, but check this out. Aw, oh, thank you for using the PV mode, Wolf. I appreciate it. Oh, the peeps are coming. Look at this, though. Doesn't that look crazy? Just these, like, pads of blossoms just hanging out. That's like a science fiction movie. It doesn't look real to me. Is it real? More peeps. Oh, no. They're invading. Well, I don't mind. Just a couple of invading peeps isn't so bad. Let your peep flag fly. Pairing PV solar panels to water sources like canals, ground-level humidity, or reservoirs increases their efficiency by as much as 10%, as the surrounding water helps them remain naturally cooler. Bloomberg reports that they also help decrease hostile algae blooms. 1.4 million, or around 4% of the total financing for the project, was fronted by Hapcheon locals. They were the first to be offered the chance of joining a 20-year, 10% annual return investment scheme, which should help generate useful income for elderly residents in an area where the average age is nearly 60. Wow. I think the word scheme, it's like very scheme. You're scheming, you know, you're scheming to try and make money. I always thought that was a strange way to put it. Okay, guys, we're going to have our 5-minute break. So what you should do is stand up, stretch out, get some water and some tea, get a little snack, have something great to do, and then in 5 minutes we'll come on back and we'll hang out again, okay? We'll see you guys very soon. Be back in a minute. Alright, folks, we're back. Sorry for the wait. Just had to go to the bathroom and then get some more tea. I hope you enjoyed your little break. And yeah, if you guys want to spend your channel points to get that that emote for a little bit, it's fun to use those emotes. It's fun. They're all really fun in my opinion. I'm still getting used to like some of them, but honestly, the two we have right now are really cool. We've got the cutie glomp, and then we have the peep. Oh well, thank you very much, and welcome back to you too. I think they're both really cool looking. The peep. I like seeing the peep go across the screen. Alright, folks, so we are going to go to our next good news story. But before we do that, we have a couple of animal videos to turn up. So I'd like to introduce a couple of you to some very, very cute animals. Oh, the Peeps. Slow down, Ma. Slow down. Wolf, can you help her get to the rewards? Can you DM her and let her know how to do that? Because I think we should, on the stream, focus about the stream instead of trying to make that work. Aww. Oh, lovely. What do you mean too late? It's not too late. Oh, what a cutie. Oh, look at that pig wandering around having a good old time. I've thought about if I wanted to have a pig for a pet in my time. The idea does strike me as being very lovely because pigs can be so friendly. Not only that, but they're very soft too. I'd like to have like a furry pig with like brown and black spots. Like maybe a grayish looking one. This is like almost a boar, is what I'm describing, but it does sound great either way. Oh, the pig bothering the mamu. Typical pig noises. He's looking for truffles. He thinks he can find some. He hasn't found any yet, though. Yeah, God, you're kissing the dirt mouth. Oh. Oh. He's got to settle down. Look at all the fruits he gets. My God, she is spoiled. Oh. Oh, the stretching boy. Oh, how pigs love watermelon too. You know, turtles also love watermelon. You did it, Moss. Look at that. Thank you for the peep. Aw. Two cuties, not minding their own business. Her baby's fell into a grate? No. Okay, you know, you're gonna have to try and get those babies out, because it's important to save them. Oh, bring all the neighbors out with their crowbars and multi-crowbar the heck out of it. She was like, I'm just gonna stand here and wait until you people help me. Hey, you know, ducks are very patient, right? Very, very patient creatures. They love their youngins. Can you, like, use, like, a winch of a truck or something? Oh, there you go. gosh, I don't know how animals think, honestly. This is crazy that she's just hanging around while this is happening, because she's, like, aware of the vibes going on here, right? And, yeah, these crates do weigh a lot, because they have to support, like, cars going over them and stuff. So they're extremely heavy. They're extremely heavy. They probably actually weigh, like, over 100 pounds, right? Maybe way more than that. I don't know exactly how much more, but they weigh a lot. Wow, look at them go. The men working together to save the babies. Get those babus out of there. We hauled the first thing off. Yeah, I know, right? A mother duck's love for their babies are so precious. It is. Look, they're getting the babies out. Oh, those are some stinky babies. They gotta get their mom's thing they cleaned. Look at that. The babes are back. There they go. Anyway, on with the rest of their day. Yeah, they're like, okay, well, we got business to attend to. We can't stick around. Follow me, ducklings. And there they go. Heading to the river. Oh, that's so sweet. Look at that. A little parade of ducks. They're just heading back to the river to go about their business. Oh, that's so sweet. I think I would cry if I saw this in person. That's just the sweetest thing. They waddled off on their merry way like nothing had ever happened. That's so good. Aw. Amy, Allie, Lily, and their neighbors. Well, you know what? I love when a story ends sweetly. So we got one more.
The minute we got her into the car, I put her on my lap and she just immediately fell asleep. She's probably never felt love. We took her home and gave her a bath. And she loved it.
Aw. I really like that pigs being treated well thing. That's a very pretty pig. Oh. Oh, there they go. Little piggo.
First night we were holding her, and pigs usually do not like to be held, but I wear oversized sweatshirts all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Right underneath my sweatshirt. Constantly having
What the heck is that lump in your sweater? Oh my gosh.
just became so normal.
It's a good girl.
So intense. And her favorite thing
Oh, that's so sweet.
in our shirts.
That's so sweet. It's like being swaddled by the shirt of your owner. That's very sweet. Sweatshirt privileges.
Oh, you can't go that way. Go that way.
Look at all of your emotes, Moss. Thank you.
My husband works from home, and she would just constantly try to jump up on his lap. Now he takes Zoom calls with Anthony in the shirt.
It's like, what the heck is that in your shirt? It's like, oh, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant with a pig. Oh my gosh, I love this whole in the shirt vibe. The meta of like the pig needs to be in your shirt to enjoy your company is so good. Oh, the pig likes it too much. Oh, that's she's very needy. Oh, Angie's moping now. It's a pig blanket. Blanket pig. Oh, look at that sleeping piggo. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love seeing them all calm and sleeping like that. They look so peaceful. This is really doing it. This is really giving me the cute vibes I was looking for. Aw.
So we'll have to grab the blankets and wrap them around her, and then she'll lay down.
Aw.
So if it's not on, she gets mad.
She's like trying to figure out why it's not on. She's like, why isn't there heat coming out of this? I know there's heat here. I just can't find it.
She's really
This pig is so spoiled.
if I'm ever sad,
She's so spoiled. She gets the heat vents. She gets the sweatshirt privileges. She gets the cuddles. She gets to sleep in the bed.
now we just give her all the love
Aw.
that she deserves.
I love that. You've never seen a pig with Oreo fur color. Now you figured out how to do it. I've unleashed a monster. No. See, I have done this on purpose so that I can get more emotes showing up on the screen at once. I did it for my own selfish reasons, and it's working out well so far. So keep it coming, Moss. You've never seen a pig with Oreo. That is a very pretty fur color, Oreo. If I had a pig that was that color, I might actually name them Oreo. That'd be very cute. A very, very cute young lady. Oh no, the Peeps are incoming. Watch out, folks. There's Peeps on the screen. Let's see. This one's probably like... I don't know if I want to do this one. I'm looking for ones that aren't like super long because I'm trying to not speak an insane amount in one night. Peep invaders. I love that idea. Invasion of the Peeps. So we're going to talk about a little bit about some new cancer news. So if you want to look at that, you can go into the stream chat as much as you'd like to. A new cancer therapy completely destroyed advanced ovarian and colorectal tumors in 6 days. Clinical trials are expected to begin in the next few months after results on mice were described as very exciting. Pinhead-sized drug factories were delivered to give continuous high bursts of protein that boost the immunity system. We just administer once, but they keep making the dose every day, where it's needed until the cancer is eliminated, said co-author Dr. Omid Vise of Rice University in Houston, Texas, whose family friend passed away from cancer. Oh, look at all those. Wow. War invaders. Once we determined the correct dose, how many factories we needed, we were able to eradicate tumors in 100% of animals with ovarian cancer and in 7 of 8 animals with colorectal cancer. I want to make an emote that's like an armored guinea pig or an armored peep. I think that'd be great because we could like defend the stream with the guineas, with the pigs, pig night. The tiny beads have a protective shell. Beads have a protective shell containing cells engineered to produce interleukin-2. They could be used to fight the most lethal cancers, including those of the pancreas, liver, and lungs. We also need to get those axolotl ones up too. Those are so cute, the ones that you drew. Woof, I love those. They can be implanted with minimally invasive surgery and could be tested on human patients by autumn, so they can get them into hospitals as quickly as possible. Wow. Let's go for a little quicker one. This one's a little quicker. A little good news. A little good news. Yeah. Peep in shining armor, or Pig Knight in shining armor. Honestly, we could get both of them, I guess, couldn't we? Yeah, your drawings. I really liked them. Scientists developed breakthrough method for recycling industrial plastics at room temperature in 20 minutes. A new and simple method for upcycling plastic waste at room temperature has been developed by a team of British researchers. The researchers at the University of Bath hope the new process will help recycling become less energy intensive and thus more economically viable. While recycling rates are growing across Europe, traditional methods remain limited because the harsh remelting conditions reduce the quality of the material each time they're recycled. Aww. I appreciate your peep blush. Thank you for putting your peeps out there. But this new rapid chemical recycling process for polycarbonates can be completed in 20 minutes at room temperature. Using a zinc-based catalyst, the methanol, they were able to completely break down commercial bisphenol A carbonate BPA beads that make up a widely used class of thermoplastics commonly utilized in construction and engineering. The waste can then be converted into its chemical constituents. Oh no, alien invaders! Get some peeps in there, you have to fend them off before they get to the stream. Look, it's like your house is being invaded by tiny cute aliens. The waste can then be converted into its chemical constituents, namely bisphenol A and dimethyl carbonate, helping to preserve its quality to reuse for an infinite number of cycles. Also important, BPA recovery prevents leakage of a potentially... Thank you for the defensive peeps there. Woof. For industrial chemicals, promising the zinc catalyst is also tolerant to other chemical sources of BPA-PC, peep rating, and mixed plastic sources, increasing industrial relevance, whilst being amenable to other plastics like polylactic acid and polyethylene terephthalate. Oh no, it's the curse fire emote. I've never actually seen that used like this. The team has also demonstrated a completely circular approach to producing several renewable plastics derived from waste PET bottles, polyester amides, and their terephthalate monomers. Oh, the octopus. These materials have excellent thermal properties and could potentially be used in biomedical applications, for example during drug delivery and tissue engineering. Lead research professor Matthew Jones at the University of Bath's CSCT said, "It's really exciting to see the versatility of our catalysts in producing a wide range of value products from plastic waste. It's crucial we target such products where possible to help promote and accelerate the implementation of emerging sustainable technologies through economic incentives." First author of the paper, Jack Payne from the CSCT, said, "Whilst plastics will play a key role in achieving a low-carbon future, moving forward, it's imperative we source plastics from renewable feedstocks, embed biodegradability, recyclability at the design phase, and diversify existing waste management strategies." Presently, the technology has only been demonstrated on a small scale. However, the team is now working on catalyst optimization and scaling up the process with collaborators at the University of Bath. Lovely. Let's see, which of these do we want to do? I remember this one being really good. Oh my gosh. Oh, a tiny new species of chocolate frog is discovered after scientists follow its unique beep sound. You guys want to see this one? It's really cute. Oh, the tiny chocolate frog, boys and girls. Take a look at this. Oh, so small. I love recycling. It's a bit of a hobby you enjoy. Well, lovely. Hey, someday we'll all have recycle machines in our houses. Like the engine, like the car from Back to the Future. A tiny new species of burrowing frog has been discovered after scientists were able to find it by its unique beep sound. Identified by biologists in the Amazon, it has a pointy tapir-like nose and is less than 1 inch or 1 to 2 centimeters in size. Researchers have called the dark brown new species Synapteranus danta, with danta being the Spanish for tapir, a mammal with pig-like features and an elephant-style trunk. While locals in Peru have known about the tiny burrowing frog due to its beep 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 sound it makes underground, the frog has remained elusive to biologists. Local guides took researchers to peatland areas, wetlands carpeted with nutrient-rich turf made of decaying plant matter, and they searched at night when frogs are most active. After 3 months of searching, waiting for an adult to come out of the dirt, the scientists decided to dig in the peatland area, expected to be teeming with frogs they wanted to find. After around 20 minutes of digging with their hands, the tiny brown frog was discovered and they were able to give it an official scientific name and description. Look at that tiny guy! They're so small. Like, that's a leaf that he's hanging off on. Just a little bit of bark, basically. Oh, so small. The chocolate frogs. Researchers now say after analysis that the frog's presence could indicate healthy peatlands in Peru's Putumayo Basin, where there is very little deforestation. Dr. Michelle Thompson, a researcher and ecologist at the Field Museum of Nature History, said, "These frogs are really hard to find, and that leads them to them being understudied. It's an example of the Amazon's hidden diversity, and it's important to document it to understand how important the ecosystem functions. It looks like a caricature of a tapir because it has a big blobby body and its tiny little pointy head. The frogs are tiny, about the size of a quarter. They're brown, they're underground, and they're quick. You know these little frogs are somewhat underground, but you just don't see them hopping around. We could hear them underground going beep, 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 and we'd stop to turn off our lights and dig around and then listen for it again. After a few hours, one hopped out of his little burrow, and we were screaming, 'Somebody grab it!' Dr. Guillermo Chefes, a researcher at Peru's Institute for Herpetology, said, 'Frogs of this genus are spread throughout the Amazon, but since they live underground and can't get very far by digging, the ranges of each species is distributed and are fairly small. Since we found this new species in Amazon's peatland, it wouldn't be strange for it to be restricted to this environment. Its body shape and general look seems to be adapted to the soft soil of the peatland, rather than the robust and wider shape of species in other environments. Yeah, they're tiny little hidey boys. Our genetic analyses show this new species belongs to a group that evolved in the western Amazon, where the influence of prehistoric landscapes like the Pibas Lake might have created different wetlands which originated the diversity we see in Synapteranus today. This would leave our frog with the possibility that this frog would be a wetland specialist are high, but still need to go further in this research to confirm it. The study was published in Evolutionary Systematics. Well, lovely. I have to tell you guys, I'm very happy with the levels of news that we've got today. For the most part, I feel like we've really gotten some awesome stuff out there. Do we want to play some Dwarf, though, for the last bit of our news? Do we want to play some Dwarf? Here's a quick piece of news. How about that? Our last news of the day talks about WD-40. One of the best things in the world as far as cleaning things goes. He was quoted $50,000 to fix the church clock, but all it took was a can of WD-40. Grimsby is a large port town in Lincolnshire, where a 14th century church clock has been stuck at 12 for 12 years. Recently, when the church minister decided to see about getting it repaired, a pair of clock engineers gave quotes that wouldn't look out of place next to the for sale sign beside a brand new BMW. One of the engineers has worked on the Big Ben restoration and said that the Grimsby Minster Tower would need scaffolding to repair external damages. He said they would need €40,000, which is about $53,000, to €50,000, which is about $67,000 to do the job. Fortunately, a pair of locals, 47-year-old cheesemaker Rick Haywood and 15-year-old student Jay Foley. It's a bad mix of food with a living creature, chocolate frog. I'm hungry at the same time and disgusted, just like hot dogs and cow tongues. A candy, late response. It's all good, really. It's all good. I have never had a cow tongue before. I hope that they don't taste good because I don't want to be a guy who eats those. And I've always thought that hot dogs weren't really my thing. I've just never liked the buns very much. The buns are just a little too much for me. I don't like the mouthfeel of that mix. Fortunately, apparently, we found various pigeons gumming up the bearings. Some of the bearings were very dry. Haywood told the Sun. We gave it grease and a WD-40 and managed to get it running. Spoke the truest of DIY practitioners. They used their phones to set the correct time on each of the hands, which worked on their own mechanisms. We saved them at least €40,000, so I'm hoping for a church meal invite, Haywood joked, while the church warden said that the colossal savings were hugely appreciated, and that now they wouldn't have to launch a fundraising appeal. He added that it would also be a relief to no longer have the matter of a stuck tower clock being brought up to him by passerbys. Gosh, can you imagine getting told about that clock every single time someone walks by? It's, oh, your clock's busted, oh, your clock's busted. He's like, I know the clock's busted, believe me, I know. But now they can finally retire the issue once and for all. But you know what, folks? I think it's time for some dwarf. What do you say? Huh? You want to dwarf it up? Because we can go dwarfing if you ask me. Go dwarf to dwarf salesman. Oh my gosh, it's really silly. Let's change it to dwarf romantic. Dwarf to dwarf salesman. Okay, folks, here we go. Aw. Hey, thank you for your peeps. I appreciate the peeps. Dwarf. What else could you want out of life except dwarf? Now let's get to it. Here we are, folks, back at our game. We still have a high score to beat. So where were we? As always, the computer starts going, ooh, what are you doing? Trying to put that game on. But that won't work. I'm like, well, don't worry about that. Don't worry your little head about that game. What happened to your chicks? I don't know. I can't speak for your chicks, but what I can say is that your emote looks nice. Oh, there's an end of a railroad. We should use that somewhere. Let's see, where would we like the end of a railroad tie to be? We could go right here. Yeah, that's a great one. It's a very good one. Let's see, what about over here? Oh, I like that. That looks great. And then we can do one over here. Ah, lovely. A perfect. We get a perfect lake getting started over there. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. And this one is a 2-pluser, meaning it wants only the additional right there. There we go. Oh, wait, can we get another perfect right here? Was that not a perfect? I guess it's not. Yeah, it's missing this connection right there. That's too bad. I didn't notice that until it was too late. Oh, well. Let's see. That's pretty good right there. Oh, we need some water over here. So let's try to fit this in somewhere. There we go. This one is a farm and a... ooh, that's a great one right there. That's a perfect. Oh, here come the doggos. I'm sorry about the drop frames, folks. My game doesn't seem to play very well with OBS, but you know I try my best to make it work. Let's see. So this one wants another 36. Let's see. It's a good one. An 116 village. Do we have enough for that? We do. There we go. That's actually just the right amount, oddly enough. Okay, and then we have one of these over here, a 77 pluser for a field. What can we do about this one? Maybe we can place this somewhere else where it's a little bit better. Yeah, try that. And then we have some forest over here. How much more is this? This is 11. And then this is 2 and a railroad. So we need a railroad, grain, grass, and 2 houses. Let's see. I don't think we want to put that there, do we? No, we want something next to a railroad, not like out in the open like that. Yeah, it's okay. I like that. And then we have a grass, trees, grass. Do we want to make this stop right there? I don't know if we want to do that just yet. I'm sure there's a better place for it than that, though, isn't there? Where's some openings right here? Okay, let's try this. Yeah, it's good. It's great. Okay, good. Good. Very good. There we go. And then 3 houses here. And then 2 houses here. How can we make this work? How can we make this? Is that really the only one? Okay, well, we gotta make it work then. Look at that. Oh, wow, the score just gets better and better. Wow. But I hope you guys are having a lovely stream so far. I really am starting to get back into the groove of things. We had a slight delay of the stream just because of the problems with the computer, but for the most part, I feel like getting back into it, and I'm really happy about that. Oh, perfect. Lovely. And this one wants a 13 houses. I think we can make that work. Very good. And this one goes over here. Actually, this is a 4 pluser, so if we did this now, no, we can make this work right away though. That's going to be a good thing. And then this one only needs 7 more. How many exits does this have? Quite a few. Okay, so we should definitely consider finishing this off. And this needs 8 railroads. This needs 8 houses. So what about this? That's a pretty good one right there. So where are the tree spots for this? Okay, so we can put this right here. And then we can put this over here. Ooh, actually this might go well here instead. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a real good one. And then this could go over here. And then this could go over here instead. So this needs a lot of grain, I'm just recognizing now. I don't know if we have enough time to do that in this game, to get this much grain going. We'll have to see. Because I don't think I want to spend all my grain blocks right there. Plus 20. Oh, this is an 141 pluser for houses. My gosh. That's a hefty amount of housing right there, I have to say. It's very hefty. Let's try that. So it wants 21 more, and this one wants 6 more, so we should really focus on this right now then. Just give this one a finish up while we can. And then this is a one for over here. Lovely. Ah, just lovely. You love to see that. You just love to see it. Then right there. And then this can go over here. Let's see. There's no way we could connect. Yeah, they're too far away. That wouldn't work, unfortunately. It wouldn't work. So we need a larger. We need like one of these 3-way houses. Okay, cool. So we're going to do that. And then we'll do this. And then we'll do this. And that. There we go. Let's see. And then we can cap this off right here, I think, by doing this. I'm a little wary of that move, though. I think we should go ahead and finish this off instead. Honestly. Because I don't know if I want to be adding water over there where it doesn't need to be. Oh, that was a perfect, lovely. I didn't even notice. And there we go. Okay. Putting some grain down over here. That's a good one. I still can't believe they want 70 grain. It's like that's a huge number to me as far as grain goes. I don't usually see that number showing up like that. I don't know if we can make this one work. We're gonna have to come over here and try this. I don't know. I don't like when they don't line up. It's very frustrating when you can not get it to line up properly. We can try this though, I suppose. No, that doesn't work either. That's very annoying. Okay, well, we got more over here at least. My perfect structure becomes more and more perfect every day. Oh, the perfect structure. Oh. Okay, where's our railroad that we were building? Right over here. Very good. So we do want to finish this off, though. So we need a railroad right here. And we need to end this one right here. So we'll do that now. I don't want to use a forest to do it, though. What if we get a big old forest token, though? I don't know. I don't know. I hate making that decision. I always feel like I make the wrong one when it comes to that. That's very nice, though, isn't it? Perfect. Lovely. Gotta get that score higher. We need a connecting piece right there. Okay, cool. Yeah, we beat the 10,000 score. Good. That's a good start, if nothing else, right? There we go. 30. And in the railroad end, let's go use this over here, because I think we should get rid of this spot right here. It's kind of annoying to have that cutting off the trees like that. And then this one's gonna go over here. Just like this. Okay, so I'm sensing a cancellation is becoming more and more imminent, unfortunately. Which is partly due to the fact that I'm trying to get more perfects than usual. Which is, I suppose, harming me in the actual scheme of me winning this particular game of Dwarf. There we go. That's a good one, at least. Oh, we got something right here. What is this? This is a forest ruin, which is... You struggle with that too, making a decision. You're told you can be indecisive. That's how you learn this big word. Oh, well, you know, it's how it goes. I think that the decision-making of a person can be hampered very strongly by them having been put in situations in the past where they were forced to make decisions that were seemingly they couldn't be right no matter what they did. And because of that, I think there's an excessive amount of, oh, look, that's a perfect, lovely. There's an excessive amount of like PTSD with that, almost being like, you know, you're paralyzed by your inability to make the right decision seemingly. And I suffer from that, so I don't know if a bunch of people can understand that as well. Hopefully that helps people see, like, you know, it happens to a lot of people, it really does. It's very common. Somehow this connects. It really shouldn't, but it does. You know what I mean? It really shouldn't connect there, but it does. Let's see. There we go. We need to put this over here, though. We gotta finish this off. I know we don't want to put a railroad there because it's really not helpful, but like, I gotta get this point before it's too late. Ugh, gosh, I'm yawning. So sorry about that. There we go. Let's see. This one wants 19, and it would fit well there, but it's too much actually. What seems might be wrong for someone else. It's very true. It's very, very true. Do you lose points for filling quests? I think you might lose tiles for doing that, because I think I just lost a tile there. That doesn't seem right. I don't know how that could happen, but... well, if that's the case, then that's the case. Am I right? What can I do? It certainly does make things more challenging, I'll say that much. Okay. Let's see. Wasn't there a spot I need to have more buildings in? There's not. Okay, I can just sort of do this then, as I wish. Got it. Very good. Oh my dog. Did I say oh my dog? I don't know if I said that or not. I feel like I didn't say that, but now that you're mentioning it, I'm not so sure anymore. Oh lordy Lou, I'm yawning so much. I hate that. I hate being the streamer who yawns. Ugh. Where is that little spot I'm looking for? It's not this. It's this over here. Gosh, there's so much I could do with this. It's great having a big old, like, circle city block, because that's just so useful. You can do so much with that. No, I need like an ending spot there, not a new forwarding spot. New forwarding spot, lovely. Okay, and we can close this off. What can I do with this one, though? I feel like it's not going to fit to anything, though. Well, that's what we've got, so gotta work with it. Oh, at least that's okay. I haven't said oh my dog in a while, but I would like to more often. There we go. Okay, we're one step closer to that one. I think that counts as a full connection. I don't know that. I'm looking at it closer and I'm like, I don't know. But it seems to, at least. No, I want to stop this connection right here. It's doing that thing where I don't know how to stop it. I'm just going to have to do this. A 259 pluser for trees. We made the right choice not ending it there, it seems. Gosh. I always feel like I don't... No, we did end it. Ah, no. Ah, what have we done? What have I done? I know I should never end those because it always turns out bad when I do that. Oh, well. That's right. We have that thing over there, too, don't we? Well, let's worry about this first. The ruins. The ruins of an ancient civilization. I think we can close this off. We just need one more good water block and we're good. We're done. Okay, we're getting a little close for comfort here, but we can still do this. Trying to like close these off, but I can't seem to. Gosh, a 189er. You have the undo button. Oh, I do have that. I forgot about it. Darn it. I forgot about the undo button again. It's been fun without it. I agree, but I hate forgetting that I have that. It's so useful. It's so very useful. It's like unbelievably useful. There we go. Back to above 15 at least. So So there's that. That's too much. It's actually a lot of grain right there. It's too much grain. This will also be too much, I think. Okay. Do we have like a medium to small size thing of grain? This might work right here. Okay. Oh man. I'm thinking about the movie Holes right now for some reason. I don't know why. It's an interesting movie. I guess I'm putting this there so I can close off this gosh darn piece right there. That'll be 2 bits. Remember they said that on Harvey. Wait, no, I need to have this be a... Oh, no, I don't think that matters right now. That's the least of my worries. That's the least of my worries, I'll be honest with you. That movie, that's right, we watched that too, didn't we? 2 bits. He said the one at the end, I'll pay for it. Holes is pretty okay, but it's a good movie. I will agree with that. Holes is a good movie. It's, I think, one of my favorite movies with Shia LaBeouf in it, just because he's like, he's just like a kid, and I like that he's not like anyone of high importance. He's just a kid. We found a world wonder. Look at that. Always happy to find one of those. We're at 12,000. Good. It's a good place to be. Let's see. Where do we want some houses? Or do we have some places we can make some like perfect plans on? Not quite what I was looking for, but that'll have to do. You thought the book was really dumb, but you don't remember if you saw the movie or not. Well, I certainly can't speak to the quality of what you read, but what I can say is I think the movie is thoroughly above average and has some parts that are actually really good. So you could certainly do a lot better, not worse than that movie. There we go. Oh, escaped the cancellation once again. Oh gosh. Constantly on the run for being canceled by Dorf Romantic. Whew. Okay, we can make this work. I know we can make this work. Oh gosh, I don't know where I'm going with this one. I hate when you get a railroad and a water feature at the same time. It's so tough to find a place to put them. They just don't fit together at all. It's very annoying. But what can you do, am I right? What can you do? I'm kind of losing... You know what? It's actually about time to get going. So we'll leave this for next time, okay, folks? So, yeah, I think we had an incredible time here. I'm very grateful that we got to hang out for a little bit. You hadn't read the book yet, but the library was a ton of classics like Water for Elephants. I've never actually read or heard of Water for Elephants, but what I can say is that it sounds like an interesting book, and if you recommend it, I'll give it a try at some point. But for now, folks, for now, we have come to the end of our time. And I have to say, thank you everybody who was able to spend some time here with us. Thank you to Zakia. Thank you to Ribwolf and Moss68. And thank you to all the people who showed up and lurked around. And thank you so much for being here tonight. This was Cast Talks episode 71. And I will see you guys in the next one. So make sure that you have a lovely, safe night. That you stay nice and cozy in bed. And that you take care. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.